All right. We should be up. We should be moving. How is everyone doing? Well, I already know what I'm doing at the start of the show. We're going to check something out. Something I've already been asked about. And I figured we would just cover it here. But I guess that's it. Hey, let's start this poll. So that's up and going. There we go. And my live chat is set. And we should start seeing some people come in here and there. It was a day. It was a day. I forgot my lunch, and then one thing, it felt like the day drug on forever. It was wild, but whatever. I put some items on pre-order. And I gotta be honest. This isn't about the pre-order thing, but I gotta be honest here. I try as hard as I can to appreciate what I have. That's real, because you have to. You have to be real about it. You can't afford everything. You can't get everything. You gotta understand your collection is what it is. Here's one thing that kind of gets me, though, every now and then. I can't help it. There is one FOMO that still kind of lives in me, and I can't escape it. We all go and we pre-order, right? We pre-order what we want. And then some people get their stuff so early. Like way, way earlier than you feel they should. What's going on, man? What am I talking about? I ordered that new Conan, because of course I did. The Blackstone Conan. It's going to be the most comic book version of Conan that we could possibly get. Looks fantastic. I'm already seeing reviews of it. Like, and I know what happened. I know that people with, like, following, you know what I'm talking about? Like, people that are way bigger than my channel, of course. People with following. They were able to go out and be like, hey, I got a following. Can I review that? And they got it. Could I maybe have gotten away with that? I don't know. Being realistic, I don't know. I don't think that I could. I don't think I have the kind of following that would be needed for it. But, like, you see that. That's one of the only FOMOs I really still have, because like I get on and I get those kind of things, like the things that I'm really, really, really interested in fast. I get them like day one, within the first minute of things going up. And so you pre-order it and you're like, I got it. Now I just wait. And normally that's not a big thing. But every now and then there's a figure or two that come out. And I order it and I'm ready. And then I start seeing the reviews show up. And it seems like a whole lot of other people ordered it as well. But they got it. Like, that's like one of the only FOMOs that I still honestly have. And that's real. I've mentioned time and time again things like Spider-Man. Sometimes I can be a putz. I can be like, I need that. Why? Because I just need it. I need it. But for the most part, this stuff doesn't really drag on me the way that it used to. I was able to kill a lot of my FOMO. A lot of it. A lot of the things that I used to like freak out about and feel like, oh, I gotta get them. It's a lot easier for me to just wait now. Like, I have a very specific budget that's set. I follow that budget. I do what I do. And then I buy things that I want. And then I take things out of the collection and I get rid of them. And if I can make a little money off of them, then that goes back into my collection and back into that fund. And that's fine. And that really doesn't bother me. And I pass on a lot more than I did when I was younger. Now, to be fair, I've been collecting for a very long time. I even have a video that specifically talks about what it's like to be a 40-year-old collector. And it talks about a lot of this stuff, like how long I really have been collecting some of this stuff. Like, and there's a lot of things. I know right now there's a lot of people that are like, oh man, did you see that NECA's releasing the 2013 Turtles, and I'm like, yeah, those were my favorite in terms of shows. That's my favorite show that Turtles has ever done. And so you would imagine I'd be like hardcore, like gunning for it. But I'm not. I'm not. Like, I seen them. They look good. I have a set. They're only Playmates, the ones that I got. But, like, they do what I need them to do, and I'm in no rush to really replace them. That's good. That shows that I've really gotten to a place where if I'm happy with what I got, you really can't grab me like that and bring me in. That FOMO is kind of dead for me. Like, I've needed a Batgirl. Since the very first couple McFarlane figures that I've picked up, I needed a Batgirl. But for a very long time, I just said, no, I'll wait. I'll wait. I saw a couple that looked promising, but I kept going, well, it has the rubber cape, I'm going to stay away from that, or it doesn't seem like it moves very well, or the costume isn't quite what I want. Well, if you saw the short, they finally released one that I want. Now, I didn't jump on the bandwagon and buy every Batgirl that was coming out because I really need a Batgirl. I waited. And I figured at some point, if nothing else, the line would end and I would pick one and maybe pay a little extra, but get the one that I want, and I would just make a decision. Like, that's hard to do. When especially if you're like just starting as a collector, you like want everything. I'm glad that I'm way past that. Like, I'm way past that point. But every now and then, I gotta be honest, every now and then they get me. Every now and then I see, like I said, I've pre-ordered it, I'm waiting, and then I see all the review channels that like get it like months in advance, like months. Not only do they get it months in advance, I'm gonna take a wild guess here that they also don't pay for it. They just get it. There is a little thing here, though, that might be fair for my channel, that might work for my channel. You could argue it keeps me honest. See, when I buy a figure, sometimes the price value is part of the conversation. Hey, this costs $40, this costs $50, this is a $20 figure. We're willing to forgive a lot more at a $20 price tag. If I got an $80 figure, or $90 figure, or $100 figure, for free, that might alter the way that I look at it, and I might not be as critical. So there is something to say for like the fact that just like everybody else, I put my money in and I'm waiting. Could be fair. Could be fair. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I really was. It feels like it's one of the last, like, remaining FOMO issues that I tend to have. And to pivot from that, to talk about something, we all know that they did the releases for the HasLab. So let's talk about that, shall we? I'll just go make it as simple as possible. We'll go over here to Big Bad Toy Store, and we're going to check these out. Now, I know this isn't all of them. I very blatantly realize this isn't all of them, and we'll talk about that a little bit. I know that there's an exclusive. I want the Mystique. I know that's a thing. I know there was a 2-pack for Punisher and whatnot. Punisher and Nick Fury. I want to be honest, I don't want that at all. I did play that game. I get what it is. I don't need that Punisher. Punisher in blue doesn't really do anything for me. Do I even need a Punisher on the shelf? Arguable. I might want one, but I'm not like gunning for it. Do I want a Nick Fury? Maybe. Questionable as to what one. That one from that 2-pack in that Gamerverse? No. Don't care. I don't need the helmets. That's not me. I'm not a helmet person. So these are the figures that really caught me, though. First off, Excalibur. Holy crap, guys. The Hound. Like, that's the thing that caught my attention right off the bat. I know they're giving us the Phoenix here, but they did her in her Hound outfit, and they even gave her... Oh, dude. It is so... That is so good. That got my attention instantly. I do have a negative critique, however. We got the new arms, the new legs. I don't think this is a newer upper torso. I think the entire torso, aside from mild modification, because we have the spikes, so you could argue that this is a whole new sculpt. Well, if it is, why did they not just give us the updated body? Why do this? Like, did I order her? Yes, she got an order. That doesn't change my opinion here. I think this is fantastic. I think it's something we've waited for a very long time. I think it's awesome and it's exciting, and I'm very much looking forward to owning it. And the fact that we got the hound suit and everything is unbelievably good. I'm getting real tired of the female torso that we've been seeing for the last decade. I am. The only reason this gets a pass is because of what it is. Had this not been what it is, it would not get a pass. I would be irritated. I'm not. I feel like this is cool. This is worth it. So that part, okay. Phoenix Rachel, fantastic. You got my attention. You got my pre-order. X-Force Feral. X-Force Feral, cool. Like, legit cool. Even surprised, if you want the truth about it. Because it seems like this is one of those... I don't mean to call her a lower tier character. That's not what I'm trying to do. Don't misunderstand. But let us be honest about figures. How many people out there, realistically, in the main line that will buy figures? Because most people are buying they're buying the main characters. They buy Iron Man. They buy Wolverine. They buy Spider-Man. This is just the truth of the matter. This is a lower end character for making major sales. Absolutely. Like, we're going to chase it down, okay? But I wouldn't be surprised if most people don't even know who Feral is. And I'm just being honest. I bet you most people don't know who she is at all. Did I get her? No. I am not building an X-Force team, and so there's very little reason for me to pick her up. I don't see anything that I would repurpose or do something else with, so I'm skipping on her. But I did think it was cool that they actually finally put out a solid Feral. That's cool. Next, Silver Surfer. I finally did it. I have put off getting Silver Surfer for a long time. For a long time. Like, I've seen him, and he was in like a dark silver color, and I didn't want him. I seen him, and he seemed painted, but he didn't seem chrome right, and I didn't want him. I seen him, and he was grayish color. I seen him, he looked great, and I didn't have the money. There's always been a reason that I've skipped on the Silver Surfer. This one, I bit the bullet. I said, okay, he's the one. I already got the Silver Surfer from First Steps. It makes sense at this point to finally pick him up. To finally pick him up. So, I think he looks fantastic. I don't know if they could have done any better, in all honesty. I like that the eyes kind of stand out. I like that very, very fine chrome look. I am curious if he is using her board, the other Silver Surfer board, if that board is the long board that she got, because she got the longest board. And there is an issue that the chat has already brought up. And we should go ahead and talk about it for a second, if we're going to be perfectly honest here. Yes, the thing I don't understand about the Silver Surfer is why he has a hole in his back. Well, we were talking about this a couple days ago, and I think, I can't prove this, but it did make sense. It was brought up during our conversation. The holes in the back that are appearing on the female and male characters We think that that was an idea for stands. That Marvel Legends incorporated that for the kinds of stands that have the little peg that plug into the character's back and then support the weight for when they're flying or whatever. Why you would do that when you've literally created a Marvel Legends stand that has the grips that would not need to use that, I don't know. But that makes the most sense to me, and I'm kind of going with what we came up with in the chat the last, I think it may have been the last live. That makes sense to me, why these characters are still coming with these holes in their backs. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I too do not love the idea of the holes in the back. It's not my favorite thing. But this Silver Surfer, yes, absolutely. And all of these are coming out in January, so I have plenty of time if something comes up. If I can't get them, I won't worry about it. But yes, I put them on pre-order. Next, Black Widow, gray suit, instant pre-order. Instant. And she has the full female buck. The full, brand new, cutting no corners female buck. She has the butterflies. She has the mid-torso. She has the lower torso. She has the massive articulation. She can hit all the poses. And she is what I knew Black Widow to be. I'm serious about that. When I was growing up, I was introduced to Black Widow through two different comics. X-Men, and it was technically a Wolverine comic, if I'm being perfectly honest, but she showed up in things like Wolverine, and she showed up in Spider-Man every now and then, but Daredevil. The Black Widow that I know, the Black Widow that I grew up with, the Black Widow that I liked, this gray suit Black Widow was my Black Widow. It's the one that I knew, I liked, I loved. In fact, I had that book right there, that X-Men book. I had that exact X-Men book. Yes, the one that she's holding, I remember that. And I remember when she first got this and when she first changed her hair. Like, I remember that. Like, I was instantly like, oh, this is cool. I like when she cut her hair. I like the look and the overall aesthetic of this. I thought this was really cool. The fact that they're doing the gray in the newest body is fantastic. It does bring up a mild problem. And maybe we could, I don't mean to necessarily do this, but we could almost blame the show for this. It sounds bad, but we could almost blame my show for this. This Black Widow, one problem. I kind of already have her. Now, I put this on pre-order immediately because I knew this is going to be an absolute standout Black Widow. But, I do already have her. A while back, I bought the gray Black Widow. And she never won the vote. I still have the other Black Widow, and she's never won the vote either. And since they've never won the vote, we've never opened her. So she's still sitting right there and has been for a very long time. And because of the way the show works, I've never opened her. And now I'm about to get another one of her. This one, you could argue, is a little different because if I'm not mistaken, the one that I have, I think she has the jacket, if I'm remembering right. She's been over there for a long time, so I don't 100% know. But yes, this one they got me on. This one I went ahead and I pre-ordered. So, next, I know some people that have been here for a while are going to think that I bought Kitty Beast. I did not. Kitty Beast does not interest me. It's not that I don't like Astonishing X-Men. Kitty Beast is not my beast. There are certain characters that I only need one of them. I need the one that speaks to me, the one that feels right. And the one that feels right to me is Blue Beast 90s. It's not Kitty Beast. I don't know what I would do with him. I'm going to be perfectly honest. It's not that I even dislike him. I thought this was pretty cool. but like, if I'm going to pick one beast, and I'm only going to pick one beast, I'm going to put him on the shelf and I'm going to be happy with him. Chances are it's going to be this upcoming rumor, this upcoming speculatory deluxe beast that we might be getting from the X-Men 97 line. That's probably what I'll get. And it'll be the only beast on my shelf, and it'll be the only beast for a long time that didn't get me on this one. The FOMO does not hit. You didn't get my money. Lastly, the Man Without Fear. I'm skipping him. I'm not getting him. No. This one is a little tougher. They almost got me here. Because I only have one Daredevil in my collection. One. I have Yellow Suit Daredevil. That is it. Now, I don't dislike Yellow Suit Daredevil. I'm a little different than some other people. I like Yellow Suit Daredevil. I honestly do. I have no problem with it. I enjoy it. I like it. Never been against the Yellow Suit Daredevil. Ever. And I read Man Without Fear. I own Man Without Fear. I liked Man Without Fear. For what it's worth, most of the time, I like Frank Miller. That all being said, in the end, while this guy is pretty cool, I didn't feel the need to own Tracksuit Daredevil. Like, it was real close. It really was. It almost got me. But it didn't. I am skipping on this one. I don't know if it's just the way that they decided to do him, but, like, to me, his face doesn't seem right, because it's very much like a Frank Miller type of thing. He seems too big. There were minor things in this that kind of bothered me, and I bet it all comes down to Frank Miller art style and design. Otherwise, it looks like a solid figure. I'm sure anybody that gets this, that understands what it is, and has a liking to the story, I'm sure you'll do good. It looks like a solid body cap and everything, but they did not get me on this Daredevil. I am waiting for either a really good red suit Daredevil that catches my attention, or I've heard rumors that we might have a black suit Daredevil coming soon, like Shadowland Daredevil. That could probably also get my attention, if we're being perfectly honest. And that's all of them, aside from the ones that we had to talk about elsewise. So, that's where I'm standing with those. I get it. Some people will probably be surprised. Some people will maybe even disagree. That's fine. That's the way collections work. And looks like Jada won. I know that was a lot longer than it normally is, but we were talking about stuff. So let's... first, let's do this. There are only two options here. That's the only two Jada we have left in the collection right now to be open. So we'll wait for those to play out for a little. Let's see. I think the reason you didn't get a crunch with the Hound is because the spikes would run into the body when you try to crunch her forward. Maybe or maybe not. They really didn't think it was... Well... Like, I'm giving it honest consideration. I really am. I'm not trying to jump right in and be like, no, they should. Because, look, you might have an argument here. I think, to be fair, though, if the spike proves to be in the way, you alter the design of the figure just enough to move the spike to guarantee that articulation. I mean, that's their job as an engineer, is to think about that. So, like, I don't see that they couldn't have done it. And maybe some people would have complained that the spikes weren't in the absolute perfect spot or something. I don't know. Would it have really caused a problem? I'm not saying you giving them an excuse is not a viable one, because maybe it is. But I don't know. Something about that seems like they could have worked that through. Hey, what's going on, man? See, we are jumping into the recap for the Hasbro Pulse live stream. Yes, we did. Pre-ordered Silver Surfer and Feral today. Gonna pre-order Iceman and the Gamerverse. That was the other one. Thank you. Iceman was the other one. He's gonna be an exclusive. Here's my thing, okay? I have 2 Icemen. I have one Iceman that's like a darker blue and has the spikes and whatnot on his shoulders. I don't remember what line that's from, like what wave. It's so long ago, I really don't remember, but he's up there somewhere amongst them. And then I have another Iceman who came with my first guys, my first class pack. This Iceman looks good. If you don't have an Iceman, he's solid. If you do already have an Iceman, they're not really offering anything that's mind-blowing. They were like, we gave him a snowball. Big deal. Cool. I'm not saying it's not cool for somebody to get something, because if you get that Iceman, you will have something I don't have. That is cool. Argumentatively, that is cool. However, for me, and I get to be one of those Maximum Holt guys, it's not really worth the upgrade. But to push a little further and to give it a real context, when they announced Iceman, I got very excited. And they ruined it. And I think out of that disappointment, it immediately made me go, maybe I'll leave it up to fate. If I walk across him in a Walmart, maybe. You know what I mean? If I walk across him in a Target, maybe. I can't remember which one he went exclusive for. But what talked me out of it is that Silver Surfer right there. Guys, she comes with a stand, a cosmic wave. You just made her. Color it blue. Color it blue. And put Iceman on a little square chunk of ice. I don't care about blast effects of snow and a snowball. We want Iceman to be on the ice tracks. That's personally, and I could be wrong, I can't speak for everybody, personally, that's what we've been waiting for, right? Iceman on the ice tracks, looking very posable, solid, right? That's what I wanted. And then when they showed it, and they were like, he has some ice effects and a snowball, and I was like, you just made her. You just made her. You have the pieces. Like, color it blue. I could do it. Argumentatively, maybe I should. I mean, we got to be honest about one thing real fast here. That figure right there, a lot of people were mad about her. That figure right there, I don't think she's selling out. That figure right there will go on sale. When she does, it might be arguably a good thing to buy her again and do it myself. She has that wave thing is perfect for an ice effect for Iceman. I really don't understand why they did not do it. Maybe I just should. I mean, I got 2 Icemen. I could just do it myself. That Iceman does look a lot like the Marvel vs. Capcom Iceman, though. I'm leaving that one to fate. If I walk by him in a store, I may be interested. We'll see. But I did pass on him. Or I am passing on him. Hasbro could have gave us the Silver Surfer with the Gladiator armor. That would be cool. I don't disagree. I absolutely do not disagree. But since I don't have a standard Silver Surfer, and this one looks really good, I'm more than happy. I'd pick him up to go with my Astonishing Wolverine. Okay. I get that. For the Beast, yeah. According to leaks, we are supposed to be getting Classic Suit Daredevil in Secret Wars Wave 2. That's rumored. And I'm waiting for that. Either that, or if we actually get a Shadowlands Daredevil, or both of them. I like Daredevil a lot. I want a red suit. I want a black suit. I have the yellow suit. I even kind of low-key want his terrible armor from the 90s, if you're going to be honest about it. I would even take that. So, like, you get where I'm going with this? Like, I would love some Daredevils. I just don't want tracksuit Daredevil. He just doesn't do it for me right now. Oh, thank you, and welcome to the show. I've had this for quite a while, actually. I don't think I've ever... I don't know, maybe I've worn it on the show a couple of times. But I like this shirt. Thanks, man. It's because the Silver Surfer here is on the Sunfire body. It's a body that's being overdone by Hasbro. I won't argue that. But it'll serve its purpose for what I need. I need a Silver Surfer. Don't mess with Hasbro stuff anymore. But that Punisher Fury Gamer Pack is tempting as ice cold beer. Awesome. Welcome to the show. And no, I get it. Like, when I seen it, I knew instantly when they showed that background. I was like, I've played that video game. That's the Punisher Nick Fury game. I was like, that's kind of cool. Then they started showing it, and I was like, do I want Blue Punisher? Like, I know there's people that have asked for Blue Punisher. I'm not saying they haven't. I get it. I understand it. But, like, it does nothing for me, necessarily. Like, I don't need a Blue Punisher. It's not something that I've been gunning for. The Iceman with the spikes over the shoulders is probably the Age of Apocalypse Iceman that was released a few years ago. It could very well be. It could very well be. By the way, welcome to the show. What's up, man? No, you're right. I want an Iceman with the ice slide track. Here's hoping we get that in the inevitable Marvel vs. Capcom Wave 2. I have to do this every stream. Is there a chair? No. No. And by the way, I am not buying Batman with the Mobius chair, so there will not be a chair there either. I'm holding out for the Mafex Punisher on Hasbro. I'm holding out for the Mafex Punisher so Hasbro can miss me with this one. Almost got me. Hey, look, man, here's the thing. Even if you have walked away, and I get it, you went elsewhere, you're picking your own battles, you're getting the things that you want to get. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect very much that while you've left it, you still saw something and had to at least give that thumbs up to Hasbro and go, "Ooh, you almost got me with that one. That's good work." And look, man, at least be real about it. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Bill, did you see Black Mask Batman from DC Multiverse? I did. I saw that. I was like, what? And then I was trying to remember when that happened. Like, because I cannot remember it, in all honesty. Like, nothing about that seems familiar to me. I'm sure somebody whom is a comic guru or has read a ridiculous amount of Batman knows exactly what that was and wonders why I don't. That's fine. But I do not remember a Black Mask Batman. I do not remember that. Maybe it happened in like a single panel on something. I don't know. Okay. Shaggy won. Let's start it. Shaggy. Scooby-Doo toys. I've seen Scooby-Doo toys a lot over the years. I really have. I've seen some that almost got my money a couple of times. Because there's always been this minor interest. It is minor, but it's there. Scooby-Doo is something that I have watched off and on for years. I still even kind of watch it today. Every now and then, the mood will strike me for no particular reason, and I'll put a couple episodes on. I'll go to a streaming thing that has it, or I'll take I have a couple of box sets. And I'll watch some Scooby-Doo. It's a classic. I enjoy it. So I've always had this mild interest to put the Scooby Gang and the Mystery Machine on the shelf. Not so much any of the monsters. I don't necessarily care. And not necessarily any of his partners. Like, I don't need Scooby-Dum or anything like that, and I don't need Scrappy. None of that interests me. The original gang and the Mystery Machine, that's it, bar none. It's what I want. And I have for a very long time, if I'm being perfectly honest. Quite a long time. And then Jada announces they're doing Scooby-Doo. Currently, I'm buying Street Fighter from Jada, and I'm not sad about it. So, I'm also buying Mega Man, and I'm not sad about it. So you have my attention. Then you release a Shaggy. Here he is. We're going to have to ask questions. And we're going to have to get down into the figure and figure it out. Here's my issue right now. Shaggy is very simple. Like, right? Can we agree on that? Because don't misunderstand, I'm not trying to crap on something, but we got to be very honest about what we're looking at here. It's very simple. There's no, like, crazy paint apps, green shirt, brown pants, one color shoe, one color skin tone, one color hair tone. He's meant to look like a cartoon. He does. He looks like a classic cartoon. One color tone through and down. Simple, scraggly. We don't got to worry about a lot of different things. It looks like he's going to have double knees, double arm, double elbows, things like that. Okay, that's fine. He's $40. And before somebody gets up in arms, he is $40, roughly. You can argue all you want. By the time you pay for Shaggy, the tax, and the shipping and handling, he's around $38. He's a $40 figure. He falls into the $40 figure category. And this is just Shaggy. Will Scooby be $40? Will he be more? Because he's obviously going to be bigger than Shaggy in terms of how long he is and the articulation and whatnot. Is he going to be even more? And then will Fred and everybody maintain that $40 price point across the bar? Because if so, we're looking at Fred, Shaggy, Velma, Scooby, Daphne. That's a 5-man team. And we want the Mystery Machine. Whether Jada makes it, or if we go out of our way to buy one from one of the other companies that have already made it. Ow. I mean, look, just at base value. 4, 8, 12, 16. I mean, we're not messing around here. We're looking at $200 for just the Scooby Gang, for just the Mystery Team. $200 is the amount of money that this team will take on the shelf. Now, you could argue most of the Ninja Turtles can sometimes take even more. And if you bought from Super 7 like I did, they were $60 to $65 figures. 4 turtles, $60 a pop, $70 a pop if you want to make the argument. I'm not saying that this doesn't always happen with toys. But boy, I hope this is worth it. Am I in for the long haul? I think so, realistically. But I'm also not willing to just sidestep the fact that the prices have gotten to where they are and that this is a $40 figure. We're going to look at him. We're going to open him. We're going to check him out. He could be so cool that who cares? And really, in the long run, maybe it is a who cares. Because if you want this, this is your chance to get it, and it's the best chance we've ever had, and they're probably going to look the best that they've ever had a chance to look. and their articulation, and they should be quality. One could argue, for those factors alone, you're willing to pay it, and it doesn't really matter. And we make those kinds of decisions as collectors every day. Every day we go, oh, but she's like $38 or whatever. And then we go, yeah, but the chance that they're going to put another one out again, how many years will I end up waiting before I see another one? We do it all the time. We justify what we buy on a regular basis all the time. This will probably be no different. And I've already told myself, this is my key in, this is what I'm doing all the way through. But I still wanted to at least be honest about the situation. I know that I'm in for about a $200 drop to put Scooby on the shelf. Minimum. At least I'm honest with myself, right? Okay. Let's open them. Okay, so minor thing, very minor, but let's at least bring it up, okay? There's no insert. So if you're watching the chapter of this, you wouldn't have seen me pick this up during the unboxing and do like this. If you want that scene back there, you're going to have to cut this out. This is not an insert, it's the packaging. That surprised me, if you want the truth of it. I was not expecting that. When I saw this, I said to myself, that's going to be blue in there, and this is going to be like an insert, and we could take it out, and then it's the spooky house. No. No. So, if you want that, you're going to have to dig it out of there. Do I want it, or is this just packaging to me? I think it's just packaging. I don't know if I'm too worried about it, in all honesty. It would have been cool to have as an insert. I would have put it down with my other inserts, because every now and then I use them for very close-up pictures or whatnot. But then again, let's also be real about it for a second. If I want this insert, it's probably best for me to wait till they release one of the bigger box figures, like maybe Scooby is a bigger box figure, and maybe the insert will be larger, depending on how they decide to package him or do him, and then that would be the one to cut up and keep. So I don't know, but I thought it was interesting. I would at least bring it up. So Shaggy, one of my main concerns for Shaggy is his shirt, and it's not a problem. It's the same kind of material that they've been doing the hair out of, so Shaggy can sit down. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but I can't tell you how many characters I'm buying that can't sit down, and there's something about that that honestly bothers me, because especially for somebody like this who is expected to drive the van, he better be able to sit. Shaggy can sit. The shirt does not get in his way. Solid. Otherwise, we have all the normal articulation. He should be able to take just about any pose. You should not have any problems. His shoes have a decent pivot. They go forward, they go back. Nothing's in his way. Nothing's in his way. He works, man. I was about to say he has a trigger finger hand. But he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. I'm going to give that to him. He doesn't. That's not what this is. This is literally so that he can pinch and hold the Scooby snack. That's what it's for. Okay? So let's just be fair to him. He doesn't have a trigger finger hand. I'm sure if you had a gun, you could give Shaggy a gun. But that was not their intention. He comes with a Scooby snack. It's right here. And he comes with a box of Scooby snacks, which is really just the inside is just like brown, looks like gross crud. Otherwise, it's very well done. And I think this is the design of Scooby snacks that I remember from like a pup named Scooby-Doo. I think that's what these are. You can technically put that in there. And then it just comes right back out. This is probably very easy to lose. I'll be perfectly honest with you. He comes with 2 extra expression hands. That's what I call these when they're open like that, because I use them for like when they're reaching for something, or when like they have to like if they're punching and they open this hand up, that kind of thing. That's what I call them expression hands. And then we have 2 portraits. Now his neck is crazy long. But it's supposed to be. I mean, he looks like a cartoon. He looks exactly like he's supposed to look. He's solid. We got a lot of movement. This Shaggy will be able to hit poses, which is wild to say. We have regular happy Shaggy, which is fine. It's exactly what you'd expect it to be. It's happy. It looks great. There's nothing wrong with it. The paint app is solid. And then, of course, in case he was hanging out up here, and for whatever reason, say, I don't know, like, if, like, Mumra showed up for some stupid reason, he could be afraid. There, we got him. Look, maybe you could argue, at his price point, we should have got more than 2 heads. Maybe you could argue that at his price point, we could expect more. I'm not saying that would be unjustified. He also doesn't have butterfly joints, but he is so skinny that it's not gonna matter. Like, he has a lot of movement in terms of his arms. Look, guys, he is a solid figure, okay? We gotta give him that. We gotta give him that. He's a solid figure. He's gonna do exactly what you want him to do. He's gonna do exactly what he's supposed to do. But his price is still very real. We just have to be real about it. We have to be honest about it. His price is real. You are going to pay to put these guys on your shelf, and it's going to be up to you whether or not you can justify that or even will. It's the way that it is. I'm in for Scooby and the gang plus Scrappy, but that's it. I don't want to devote a whole shelf to one-off villains. They look great, though. Absolutely. It's how I felt about Feral. Yeah, she's $37, but when is there going to be an opportunity for them to ever make another one down the road? Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes that's very much the reason that we justify. When is the next chance you're really going to have? Like, when are they going to do it again, if ever? I don't know, man. We've gone from $25 reuse and Mega Men to $40 Shaggies. Yes, the prices have skyrocketed in a very, very short time. We have watched the Street Fighter line alone double in price. I mean, there's no way around it. It has doubled in price. That's a lot, if we're being perfectly honest here. All right, let's see about this then. We have... I know that's down there. Who else do we have sitting? Okay. Move this back over. Let this start taking. And let's check real quick. I've got those turned off. We no longer need this. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Wanted to check how we were doing. So it says right now, and we're just going to go off what I can get. It says that right now we got 4 people hanging out, so we'll give it a little bit of time, unless I feel like the vote really has reached about the 4, and then we'll just go ahead and move on, because that's the way it is. For right now, Motu already has the first hit, and Motu Origins has a couple of items, actually. Nothing necessarily that's like crazy new. There is a new unannounced item in Marvel Legends, but we'll get there if we get there. And there's some pretty cool stuff sitting over in Joe's that we've never had a chance to open. There's a lot of stuff, to be fair, if we're being fair. What is currently running in the show right now in terms of lines? We have Motu Origins, G.I. Joe Classified. We have Marvel Legends, which all 3 of those lines have a lot. They have a lot of stuff, a lot of chances, a lot of votes. There's one more Jada figure before Jada is taken out of the show again. We have one more Frazetta Icon figure before Frazetta Icons is out of the show again. And we have one Super 7 figure before Super 7s is out of the show again. And then Star Wars is waiting to come into the show. And there's also DC Multiverse that's waiting to come back into the show. And surprisingly enough, there's a Figma that's actually waiting to come back into the show, believe it or not. So, there we go. That's what we're currently sitting on. We have 5 votes. Currently, we have a tie between Marvel Legends and Motu Origins. Let's see what's going on here. Honestly, most interested in seeing how they handle Scooby himself, because he's not a human. We can compare him to Timber from Classified and Mezco. He needs to be at least as good as Classified Timber. I think because he'll be bigger and he'll be cartoony, I actually think he'll be easier. I would tell you, if you want some form of comparison, and it's not perfect, but look at how Motu Origins handled Cringer. That's what I would tell you, because the animated line for Cringer, that was done very, very well. And I know that's a different toy company, but what I'm saying is that he needs to be on that level, because he needs to still appear cartoonish. And if they make him too real and they make all of his joints perfectly real to the idea like how they do Timber, he might end up being awkward. Maybe. Arguably. Uh-oh. We are... Let me check. We have 6 people hanging out. We have 5 votes. We're at 3 minutes in. And we are currently tied between Marvel Legends and Motu Origins. And I might have a way to solve that if we get to the 5-minute mark and we haven't figured it out. I may have a way to solve that. We'll see. My Gamerverse Wolverine hit my pile of loot yesterday. Gonna ship it when my Juggernaut ships. I got a notice. My Wolverine has been delayed. I got my Wolverine from from Amazon, and mine has delayed twice now, actually. I'm not too worried about that because I'm not freaking out about like I need to get him right now. As long as they're not canceling it, then it's whatever. Otherwise, my I got a notice today that they're going to be processing the Captain America Venom soon. Since they're already putting that out there, I imagine in the next day or two that they'll do the process for those. And that's definitely what I'm looking forward to. And that one will have me making a decision as well. When that pack comes in, I need to figure out if I'm keeping or getting rid of that Captain America right there. Because I bought the Secret Wars Captain America with the idea that he was pretty much the ideal Captain America I wanted on the shelf. And he was, for what it's worth. But this new one that's coming out is going to move better. He's going to be bigger. He's going to have a cool effect. He's going to have a full shield. I'm not the kind of guy that needs 6 Captain Americas on my shelf. I'm not that guy. So I could be getting rid of one of my Captain Americas. I don't know. I'll have to figure out just how different they are and whether they're justified in all being on the shelf. Because it could be that he's too much bigger and he kind of seems awkward next to other characters, because I'm seeing that with the Wolverine. The Wolverine looks like he might be too big and he might come off as awkward next to other Marvel Legends. But he works very well for the Gamerverse in what seems like a new size thing. Because, look, that Juggernaut's bigger than the Juggernaut we have. And so if they're willing to make certain guys, way taller, way bigger, way wider, then maybe the scale is different for Gamerverse. And so then you would argue that Wolverine is just fine. And it's not really a big deal. Okay, so far, Marvel Legends and Motu Origins 1, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to do... Oh, okay. Or we will do... So let's see how that goes. Okay, not exactly. I saw some pictures for Gamerverse Wolverine, and the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider was compared. He was still taller than Gamerverse Wolverine. Okay. Okay. But isn't Johnny Blaze bigger than the last Ghost Rider we got? I think he was. I don't remember for sure, but I think he was. I think the last Ghost Rider we got was actually smaller. And from what I'm seeing with him standing next to a bunch of other Wolverines, he's like the biggest Wolverine aside from is the Astonishing Wolverine as big as he is? Or is he smaller? I don't know. I really don't remember. I know that I've seen them standing with the other Wolverines, and he seems big. Bigger than he should be. And then, yeah, he bends over and hunches real hard. But certain shots are really going to bring out the effect that he's way bigger than he's supposed to be. Arguably. Maybe it's really not that big of a deal at all once you get him in a group with a bunch of other X-Men and nobody's even ever going to pay attention. That's very possible too. I mean, so I don't know. Not saying he isn't bigger, but I don't think it's as crazy as some think. And that's fair. That's very fair. He might not be as big a problem as some people are making it, because let's be honest about it, sometimes people make a big deal out of nothing, especially when it comes to figures. I have no idea why, but it happens a lot in our community, where a couple of people will make a huge deal about nothing. We see it often. Wow. Okay. Black Cat wins. We've only got about 5 or 6 people hanging out, maybe 7. There could be more or less. It's hard to tell. Like I said, my YouTube is very weird. Sometimes it'll tell me that only 2 people are in the room, and we'll get 7 votes, which doesn't make any sense. So, like, who knows? But for right now, going on what they're saying, we're going to go ahead and call it. We got 5 votes. Everybody came up with Gamerverse Black Cat. That's fine. That's cool. Let's see her. There. Mark that off the list. I don't know how to feel about this one. I'm just going to come right out and be real about it. I don't. Let's figure it out. Shall we? Okay. Black Cat. Gamerverse. Marvel Legends. Let's talk about this. I like this Spider-Man game. Of course, right? We like Spider-Man. I mean, that's Spider-Man 2, but still the same argument. I like the Spider-Man game, okay? I did. I like the Spider-Man game. I like Black Cat. I thought the costume was done well. I thought the look was good. So, that's right? That's perfect. That says exactly what I need to say. There's a reason that I bought this Black Cat. Well, back up. I knew they were releasing her. And when I seen her, I thought to myself, neat. That's about as far as I got. And then I remember saying to myself, do I care? Do I want her? Okay, now we're going to fight with ourselves for a minute. Maybe not. If I want a Black Cat, I want the comic book version, right? Okay. And that's fair too. I did. I do. Right now, with all the reissues, there's a very real chance that I could get a shot at getting the Black Cat. That line is going crazy with the reissues. I could see a comic book Black Cat come very soon. So I make a stop over at Walmart. And I'm looking around. I get 2 figures. 2. I get J. Jonah Jameson. And then sitting next to him is this Black Cat. I pick it up and I look at it. And I really fight with myself. Like, I mean, I like her. I just replayed the game. That kind of makes me interested. Am I doing something stupid? Well, I fought with myself for a while about it. And it hit me. Right now, with all this Gamerverse happening, I want the Spider-Man. Just the regular look from this Spider-Man game. I don't have it. I know they've released him twice. I didn't get him either of those times. He's pretty expensive on the aftermarket from the times that I've checked for him. I don't have him. But with all of this coming out, maybe there's a chance we'll get another reissue of him. And if that's going to happen, it would be nice to have this Black Cat and that Spider-Man on the shelf together. That is literally the way that I put that down in my mind. Did I cave to something that I don't necessarily want or love? I don't know. I'm being honest about this time. I don't know. Because I really like Spider-Man. I really like this game. Do I like it enough to litter the shelf with a bunch of these things? No. And I know that's true. I know it's a no. Because I look at the back here, and I don't want any of that. Any of it. I don't want Brooklyn 2099. I don't care. I don't want... what does that say? Borakua? What? I don't want it. I don't want the black suit. I don't want the upgrade suit style. I actually don't like this compared to what I like the first one. I don't need the anti-venom suit. None of these suits catch my eye. But she does. She's the only thing that caught my eye from this entire Gamerverse wave. She's it. I don't know. And part of me has to be honest about this. I may have bought her because I don't know when or if they will do a reissue of the Black Cat that I want specifically. And even if they do, she's going to be on the old book, and it's going to bother me. And I know it's going to bother me. Because I'd rather have a fully posable, articulate Black Cat. I want the Black Cat on that body. That's what I want. And I know that if they do a reissue, she won't be on that body. And how long will it be before they finally do it? I have no idea. For me, I'm at a very complicated point in the collecting of these things. I know that. Because at this point, I feel they should be moving on to the new female Buck. We have played the old one to death. It can't possibly survive that much longer, except for the fact that Hasbro will be Hasbro. And the prices are going up. That's also fair. This one I got for $25. So because of that, that was another plus. This was like a $25 figure on the shelf. And I was like, hey, that's a good price right now. Especially since we're starting to pay $30 at regular for just standard Marvel Legends. And how much longer will I tolerate the 10-year-old Buck at that price when I very blatantly know that she came in a 2-pack with a figure that was much bigger than her. And she's on the newest Buck. And it was a $60 pack, which puts them at $30 a piece. Arguably, with him being bigger, costing more, he's more plastic. She's got more articulation. Argumentative. There are a lot of factors that kind of led to me buying this. Because if they come out with a Black Cat reissue, and if I see it, and the fact that it's still on the 10-year-old Buck bothers me enough to pass her by again, and it could happen, I will at least have one. And one that I do like. I think that that's getting a little lost because I really sound negative here. I really did like the Black Cat in these games. I like her design. I think this is solid. Do I like the comic book version a lot more? Yes. If I had to pick between one definitive on the shelf, it's comic books all the way. And it's the classic comic book look that I'm picking all the way. But I've also got to be honest with myself. I want a Black Cat for the shelf. This is arguably a stand-in, but it's not. See, I don't necessarily love stand-ins either. I don't want to buy a Wolverine just because I need a Wolverine on the shelf. We talked about this earlier in the stream, actually, where we talked about things like Batgirl. I waited for a very long time to buy the one that I wanted. So I know this is kind of complicated, but if I'm being perfectly honest, this is where I'm sitting with all of this. And that's where my mind goes, is I want a black cat on the shelf. I like both of them. I only want one. And I can tell you, from looking at her, she is on a newer female buck. So, just in case it really does bother me that bad, that I don't buy the classic one when they put her out in reissue, if they'll even do it. We have no idea. But I mean, Sandman and Rhino and everybody else is back out on re-release from that line, even the Green Goblin. So, like, come on, right? Come on. We might get her, but I might still be irritated enough to pass on her. And if I do, at least I have one that I do like on the shelf, even if it's not my dream one. I know. I try to be as real and honest as I can be talking about collecting and the whys and the hows and the fandoms of it. That's what this show is about, is why did I buy it? What am I interested in? What's the backstory? How does this affect me as as my fandom in general? And that's what went through my mind when I bought this. And I figured I figured if nothing else, it was an honest conversation to have. And I know that all of us have done this. All of us have done this. Where we're like, do I really? I mean, yeah, well, I mean, maybe not. I know this is a very normal thing. And I just wanted to take you through my complicated standing in the aisle for 40 minutes holding a figure frickin' thing. I wanted you to go there with me, so at least we were all on the same page. Let's open it. Okay. She comes with what I'm going to call a scratch hand and another scratch hand. They're expression hands, but that's what I'm going to call them right this time. She comes with this, which I just want a double platinum Spider-Man again. And I am about to go to Spider-Man 2 because I want to play the whole thing, start to story to end of story with my kid. So we just double platinumed the first game. We're going on to Miles, then we're going on to part 2. I'm assuming this has something to do with part 2, and I don't know what it has to do with it, so she comes with this. There it is. Good. I'm sure I'll know what that means later on. Otherwise, she has a ponytail, and it does plug in, and it is, of course, an articulated thing because of the fact that it plugs in. And let's check her out, shall we? Okay, sure. Well, first off, she looks way down. If her ponytail is moved, she can look a decent amount up. Actually, the ponytail even being right there kind of works. So no problem there. The ponytail does not get in the way because it moves. Her face is pretty solid, to be fair. Let's see if we can't get me out of here and get her focused a little bit more, okay? Come on. Come on. Focus on her. It's not a terrible face. It works. It doesn't bother me all that bad. I'm going to say, how do I put this? In the game, she definitely looks better. She doesn't look better in plastic. And I think it is the glasses. I think the glasses are a little funny. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I kind of wish these were removable glasses. Kind of like with characters like the Baroness. Because while I get why they're there, they bother me a little bit. A little bit. But not enough for me to worry about it too much. I don't know if it's the plastic they used, because It's very, very reflective. And I think that's what's bothering me. I mean, it's ridiculously reflective. Like, I'm trying to block the light, and you can still see. You see what I mean by the level of reflective that those lenses are? That bugs me a little bit, because I know that I'm going to have a hard time getting any kind of solid picture where I don't get some sort of reflection off the lenses. Maybe that is a good thing, because maybe you could play with that aspect a little bit, but that's where my mind is going right now, checking it out. Otherwise, we're looking at dual elbow, which is fantastic. No butterflies either direction. She's not going to be putting her arms in like this, but she can, however, put her arms way back like this. Give and take, I guess. I figure, in all honesty, this should have been an all brand new buck, but it's better than most of the female bucks that we've been getting, so I am still going to leave that alone, because, I mean, look, we got the upper movement and we got the lower crunch, and every single one of the ladies right now should be getting this lower crunch. I don't care if it's like, oh, well, they're not like they're not like that character that's like super, flexible or whatever. I don't care. I'm not super flexible anymore, and I have a lower torso crunch, okay? Everybody should have one, all right? I'm just saying, everybody should have her, all right? Have her. Everybody should have one. Otherwise, this is actually really good. Look, I'm curious about these, like how much... okay, so we're looking at the heels problem again, where they gave us heels, and I imagine she can stand, but like, I imagine you're going to fight with her a little bit, depending on the situation, and we don't have a whole lot of like side. We have this like pivot, but not like the pivot like with the Silver Surfer feet, where her feet just kind of let you do anything you wanted to do. Like, it's not like that. Otherwise, everything else on her seems solid. Like, I don't think that you're going to have any real troubles with her if you decide to pick her up. She's cheap for what she is right now. She comes on the mainly brand new female buck, except for one or two issues. They gave her everything she's supposed to have. One minor call out. It's minor, but I do think we should call it out. They always have to put the word crap somewhere. Hers is on her inner thigh. That means that whenever you pose her around, if you're going to do pictures or something with her, you're going to have to make sure to take images in a way that avoid that part of her inner thigh. So if you set her down, and like she has, like if you set her down or whatever on the side of a building, and say she's like this, kind of, right? Like she's kind of looking over the area, and she's got her hand up or something like that, and she's kind of looking down into the city. Now that kind of works fine, right? From that angle. But if we turn her around so you can hit this angle, that's a minor problem for some people. For me, I don't like that. If you can work those stupid words into the bottom of the boots and stuff, I really prefer that more. I guess they had to pick a place because something in the licensing says they have to stamp it. And because they have to stamp it, they have to put it somewhere. I guess of all the choices they had, the inner thigh, I guess it's mostly out of the way. I mean, if I'm turning her around and showing her to you, chances are you probably don't even see it. But it does bug me. And she's not the only one that I've had do that. I also opened a couple of figures, specifically a Zelda, that had the same thing. For some reason, they wrote all the words on the inner thigh, and it just... I know it's got to do something with a licensing issue. I'm sure that's the reason they have to stamp these things. But, like, can we not? It's a minor complaint that I still have left over from the way the toy industry works. Don't. Just stop. Just don't. I get it, but I don't. Just don't. and I know that I can remove it easily as well. but it doesn't change the fact that I'm at least going to bring it up. Because some people, they really don't know how to do that, by the way. Like that nail polish remover and whatnot will sometimes remove the upper layer of certain paints, and if it is black plastic anyway, then it's not really going to matter, and we can just take that right off or whatever. There are some people that really don't know that that's even an option, and if they do it the wrong way on certain figures, they can actually cause damage. So that's another argument altogether. It is what it is. But Black Cat added. Happy? Yes. I know everyone's going to disagree, but I wish Hasbro would make these figures true 1/12 scale. I mean, I kind of get it, but like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of arguments as to how 1/12 actually works, and like, depending on where you go, it's always different. Like, every figure line we buy has different scaling. I mean, that just seems to be the way that it is. And so, and then of course, the other argument to this, you're talking about scaling a line of comic book characters. And while you can look up comic book character stuff, and you could say, oh, this guy's 5'4". Okay. But now, how often can you come up with photographic evidence that stays true from artist to artist? Because what happens with comics that kind of drives me crazy sometimes is that every single person that draws them a little differently, and not perfectly consistently either. Sometimes, and I see this with characters like Wonder Woman all the time. Wonder Woman indefinitely. Sometimes she's as big as Superman. Sometimes she's not. In a couple of books, she's actually been taller than Superman. In one book where she crosses over alongside Power Girl, her and Power Girl are the exact same height. I mean, they stand face to face, almost nose to nose. They are the same height. But then, if you look it up, it'll tell you that Power Girl is not supposed to be as tall as Wonder Woman, and everybody threw a fit that the Power Girl that came out for the DC wave is too big, because she just stands too big. Does she? Because the Wonder Woman they made is the exact same height as her. And if you argue that he was going off something he saw comic book to comic book, then it's right. It's not right on paper, but it's right in an artist standpoint, because the artists tend to change certain aspects of how tall or small or wide or whatever characters are, depending on how they're feeling at any given day. I mean, so sometimes it's very hard to nail down what true scale is unless it's something that actually doesn't change, like human beings. Like every one of the Scarlett Johansson figures that come out, you would argue should all be the same, basically the exact same body type and same size, because she's a person and she has not altered. Where, depending on the artist, this stuff is up for debate and argument constantly. Constantly. Even though I'm not a personal fan of this look of Black Cat, she looks like a good figure. I'm still holding out for an update comic book Black Cat on the updated female body. Yeah, see, that's exactly where my mind was going to when I saw all this stuff. Boraku, or I don't even know how to say those words, I'm going to be honest. And I'm trying not to say them and like be insensitive here. Is the adjective for people who are born in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. I didn't know that. But I haven't played the Miles game. Maybe they talk about that or something like that. Or maybe like that's when that suit comes up. That makes sense, because is that one of his suits? Is that an idea behind something? I don't know. But it's neat, because I had no idea that that's what that was. Man, you now remind me of something. Besides Venom, Kingpin, Mr. Negative, we haven't got Gamerverse Scorpion, Rhino, Kraven, Lizard. Right. There's still a lot that we haven't seen. Like, we haven't seen a Mary Jane or a Peter Parker for that instant. For that, yeah, like. Personally, I like the movie figures and video game figures because they have the most usual detail compared to the comic release. All right, okay, I get that. She had me because she's got white hair. I love women white hair. It is cool. It's very standout. It's cool, especially if you can make it work. There's like one character randomly in a Star Trek. It's during the Kelvin universe where this girl turns around. She has short white hair, and it was so striking that it made me, the next time that I made a character for STO, I actually made a short white hair, spiky haired character, just because that's such a striking thing on a younger person that it's just really neat. It draws your eyes. It's cool, especially if they can pull it off. Just look, we've all been to the grocery store and seen it. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. Some people can do blue hair. Some cannot. It's kind of important to figure out which of those people you are. Elektra, whenever they do a new one, better be on the new female body. That's all I'm going to say. I would agree. Elektra's another one that better be on the all-new female body. She better be like that. I won't spoil what that accessory is, but it's a part of a neat little side quest. Cool. And by the time I get to it, that'll be cool, because it might be this weekend that we're going to start Miles and beat Miles. It's been real cool, because now my daughter is at that age where she's very competent at video games, and she's not getting mad, and we've been playing through a lot of games, just wrecking them out, and it's real cool. It's a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying going back through older games that I haven't played in years with her, and playing new games that I've never played alongside her, because we can pass the controller, and she's every bit as competent, if not better than me at some parts now. It's very cool. It's very enjoyable. Okay, so let's knock out one more before we go. Okay? Let me see. Yeah, because we're at an hour and a half, and I'm trying to get these to where they'll be very consistent in terms of their time and everything. But for tonight, and because as you've noticed, I am editing, so I'm starting to catch all these back up and get back on a regular basis with these, so I don't want these to be so long that they become impossible to edit and catch us back up to where we're supposed to be. So, here we go. I'm going to put a couple of figures here. These are figures that I'm definitely interested in. That I definitely want to see. Let's also do okay. That would be really cool. I really like that. Let's do and then one more. I need to find one more that really catches my attention, that makes me say, that's an absolute. And I think, you know what? There's a set of choices that I'm looking at that interest me for the last of the show tonight. And any one of these would be cool, because I have ideas for all of them in terms of what I could do in terms of photography and stuff like that. And I've also been debating on the fact of bringing back some of the comedy sketches that I was doing for a while here and there. Depending, I'm even thinking about kind of working with some of the guys from Fandom Night, maybe, and getting to do a couple voices for certain ideas that I have, but we'll see. So, first, let me go check. It seems like currently we got about 6 people hanging out with us. Today I didn't share any of this, like on my social medias or anything. I just went right in, so I know that some people did not get the notice on this. I didn't go to like my Discords or anything like that. So we're just kind of taking who shows up and how it runs. But we have 6 people hanging out, as according to YouTube. It's not a guarantee. We know that. And we currently have 4 votes, 1 minute. So we'll give it a little bit of time here, and then we'll see if things pan out or whatever. So far, the winner is coming up. Snake Eyes Polar Bear Pack, which is pretty cool. It's got a polar bear. I mean, come on, guys. It's got a polar bear. But any of these would be fantastic. The Evil Horde has basically a Yog Kasha in it. I mean, really, that's what it is. And when we do some stuff with the 5.5 Conan that's coming out, that's going to be really cool to have. Of course, the Gray Suit Black Widow is just awesome because it's the Gray Suit Black Widow, and it's the one that came out before the one that we're about to get. So it's kind of interesting to see that one before we get to the new one. And guys, it's J. Jonah Jameson. Come on. It's J. Jonah Jameson. And the second I open him, we're going to be changing that background, because that Batcave is going to go back in its box, go back on that shelf over there, and I'm going to bring the office back out, the Batman office, because JJ needs a desk if he's going to slam his hands on the desk and demand pictures of Spider-Man, okay? We have to have it set up, okay? What do you think of the new MSRP for Marvel Legends controversy that's going on? A lot of people are divided, and I don't blame them. Are you talking about the fact that we're going to go up to $28? Is that what we're talking about before I even get into that? Because that sounds like what we're about to talk about. It sounds like, because I'm pretty sure that we're moving up into, I think it's supposed to be like, we're going to start seeing $28 as the standard now. Is that right? Am I misremembering that? Because it's like $27.99, which is $28, and then you figure after if that's what you're talking about, I'm just going to go ahead and go with it here and say that that's what you're talking about. Here's my thing, because I'm kind of right there with some of these other people, and yeah, that's it. Okay. In terms of this price jump, let's be honest about what it's going to do to us. Let's be perfectly honest. Say you're just buying from Big Bad Toy Store. We're just going to use that as a reference. I know some people go with Entertainment Earth. Some people go to Hella Dope Toys. Some people go to Nerdzoic. There's 100 places you can go. I'm not trying to promote anybody one way or another. Some people go to Target. Some people go to Walmart. Whatever. Argument. The reason I'm picking Big Bad is because it makes one of my arguments valid, okay? That's the only reason we're doing it. So 1, we are looking at a single figure. And we are looking at that figure to be $27.99. It's $28. But we're going to give them the 1 penny, okay? It's $27.99. And right off the bat, we are going to add, at least in my area, I think we're looking at an 11% sales tax. Roughly. In some areas, it's around 9%, but I think toys right now in my area they count as an entertainment tax technically, and then that's like, I think that's like 11 or 13 in my area. So we're just gonna be fair here, and we're gonna go with an 11% sales tax. That's gonna add $3 right off the bat to what we're buying. Basically, a little bit more than that, but we're trying to make an argument here. And then we're gonna take that, all right? Hold on. And we're going to come up roughly, we're at about 31.06. Roughly. I'm being very rough with my math, but it'll work. And then we have to add $4 shipping on top of that. Okay? That makes a standard. You bought 1 Marvel Legends. Standard. 1 Marvel Legends. And that's disincluding anything in terms of arguments for things like the political word tariffs, okay? We're not even talking about that yet. I'm not throwing anything like that. We're not talking about surcharges, tariffs, anything of that nature. We're leaving all that off the table. In my area alone, at $27.99, with relatively 3.68 added in terms of tax and $4 in shipping and handling to get it here, we're looking at $35.06 per single figure. Per single figure. That adds up very fast. Like, it does. That's not a small price tag. That adds up very fast. We went from paying $20 a figure, $23 a figure, $25 a figure, $27 a figure. I mean, it's $27.99. It's $28 a figure. At $28 a figure, I would tell you we are at the pinching point. It's undeniable. We are at the pinching point. Look, we talked about her. I bought her because she was only $25 on the shelf. That's it. $25 on the shelf. I bought her because she felt cheap. We talked about Shaggy. He's $40. Everything said and done. It was like $38.90 something. Look, right here, we got somebody right here. I tried to order the Player 2 Silver Cami, $32.99, just to buy it. But $37.99 to ship the UK, over $70 to get it. Ah! Ah! See? And they're going to suffer even more than we do. They're going to suffer even more than we do. It's completely fair. And I'm just talking about the area that's going to hit for me personally, right here. We're talking about in the States. But we're talking about somebody that has to get it to them and things like that. Ouch! You're talking about $70 figures for a single Marvel Legends? That's hardcore. That's hardcore. Anybody that's around my area that's talking about how hardcore they are when it comes to their Marvel Legends, you hardcore? You buy all of them? You don't mess around about your Marvel Legends, you buy all of them? You buy every Jada? That's hardcore, okay? That's what hardcore looks like. Because it don't look like us. We're complaining about an extra $8. Now it will add up. Look, Marvel Legends is one of those things, and this is part of the reason this is such a big deal. Why people are so mad. I understand why people are so mad, because let's be honest about one thing real quick. One thing real fast. If you are buying Marvel Legends, you are in the state of mind that they're not that big of a deal. You could buy a whole wave. If you've been buying Marvel Legends and you've been in the game for even 5 years, it's not a lot of time. I mean, a lot can happen in a year, don't get me wrong, but 5 years is not a lot of time when we're talking about toys. In just 5 years, you could have went from, oh yeah, man, I bought that whole wave. There were four characters in that 7-character wave that I didn't even like, but I wanted to build a figure. Didn't even bother you. You got stuff on your shelf that nobody even wants. I mean, Super Adaptoid? I didn't buy him because I wanted him. The only reason I have a Super Adaptoid on my shelf is because I went to Wally's and seen him there for $6 and was like, oh, okay, yeah, of course. There's no way I'd have bought him regular. There's no way. And look, I bought the gray She-Hulk. I wanted the green She-Hulk. But I saw the gray She-Hulk, and I saw a chance, and she was also part of a wave, and she would buy me part of the Super Scroll, and I wanted the Super Scroll, and I was like, you know what? I want a She-Hulk on the shelf. I actually like that She-Hulk design. I really do. I actually like her. So that was not necessarily a kick in the teeth, but I wanted one, and I said, I'm going to buy that She-Hulk, so I bought it, knowing that I wanted the green She-Hulk more than I wanted the gray She-Hulk. But there were a couple factors in mind. One, she wasn't really that expensive. 2, she'd finished the Super Scroll. 3, gray isn't that big of a deal. There is a standard for the gray Hulks anyway. And 4, she's not that expensive. She came with the parts, she'll work. If I ever get a chance at the green one, sure, that'd be cool. Will I ever? I have no idea. Do I care now? Kind of. If I'm being honest, I like that design. If I could get a green version of her in that design, I actually would like it a lot. Be cool. I would like it. Nobody else has to like it. I don't care. But do you see how easy that was? To just go, yeah, of course, I'll get her. I bought that Iron Man because he was less than $20. Just buy him. Think about it. 5 years ago, we were buying waves that we didn't even want. Now, we are looking at a standard of $38 a Marvel Legend. When this stream started, I talked about something specific. When this stream started, I said, they got me. They got a couple in January this time from me. I bought a Silver Surfer. I bought a Black Widow. I bought the Rachel Summers. They got me. 3 figures. Doesn't sound like a big deal until you put that into context now, and it was 38, 38, 38. Now does it sound like a big deal? Because now it is. Now we are looking at not a wave, mind you, not a Marvel Legends wave, not a Build-A-Figure, not build Zabu, not put together a Sentinel, not get Mr. Sinister, not have Colossus, not get Juggernaut, not build the Blob, not have nobody. No! We are talking about now. Not a wave. 3 figures. $120. Am I mad? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it doesn't bother me. Of course it does. Things costing more money, that sucks, that's hard. And it's especially hard when this turns out to be your escape. To buy a single figure, to do some poses, to get some pictures, to have some fun. To maybe even be a big kid and put the Thundercats on your coffee table and have a little playtime. I don't give a shit. I'll come right out and tell you, goofy as it is, it wouldn't bother me at all. Sometimes I will literally do like a little comedy skit with the figures. Just because it's fun. It's fun and it's stupid and I want to do it. It's not like I'm sitting here playing action figures necessarily, but if you go out to your kitchen table and you take your Cut Man and your Mega Man and you jump around and you shoot and you think things out and you use your imagination, you know what? I'm not going to criticize you for it. I'm really not. In fact, I'm going to congratulate you because a lot of people don't have the imagination to do it anymore. It's a factor that dies as you get older. It's tough. And of course, we tell ourselves that we can't do something like that. So we walk away from it. A lot of people have to kind of come out of that mentality to play certain things. Like if you want to play Dungeons and Dragons, you have to be able to open yourself up and just have fun and play a character. That's tough. It can be very hard for some people. I've sat around tables with people that I've known for years that the second they have to act like a different character, they get super embarrassed. It's hard. that imagination side, we kind of lock that away as we get older. If you can pay $40 and you can have an escape, if you could take some pictures, make some poses, set up a little battle scene, make a small little action scene, take 10, 15 pictures of like Spider-Man fighting the Rhino until he beats him. Use your imagination, have some fun, get a day out of it, whatever. Break an hour out of it. I'd say it's worth the $40. But that $40 is a lot harder to swallow because just 5 years ago, it was only $25 to do the exact same activity. I'm not telling you it doesn't bother me. I'm telling you it's different. I'm telling you I'm being honest about it. I'm telling you maybe these prices, they're bad, but if I have to put some kind of spin on it, I'm going to say something. My show depends on the idea that people vote, they hang out, and they want to see something. And we want to talk about toys. Okay? That's what we want to do. And we do that. Sometimes it works out very well. There are very good episodes where we have fantastic conversations, and sometimes it's a little bit of a drag episode. That happens. I'm not going to say it doesn't. Sometimes I open a figure, like when we opened one of the Motu figures, and it didn't hit me. And I'm not talking about the She-Ra. No. We're talking about a figure that I opened that I actually liked, that I put on my origin shelf. But like when I opened him, I was like, I really don't have anything to say about him except for I think it's cool that I got him. There's not really much for me to say about the fact that I got a Triclops, except for I have him, and that's cool, and I put him on the shelf. My show works on the aspect that I'm waiting for people to vote, and then we'll talk about it, okay? So, like, for right now, I still have more than half the Fantastic Four sitting over there, never opened, okay? And for me, that is a little rough, okay? Because that's something that I really like. I like the Fantastic Four. I'd like to open it. Sometimes I'll go out of my way to pick something and do a single episode by myself to open what I want to open. But that's my show, okay? There are other people that I know are buying figures. And they buy like 4 or 5 figures, and then they just set them in the corner. They don't open them. And I'm not even talking about inbox collectors. I'm talking about people that open them. But, like, I know a lot of collectors who end up with, like, 10, 15 boxes of figures that they've never even opened. I hope, if we get anything out of this, because I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm saying I'm hoping if we get anything out of this, at $40 a figure, if you buy a Marvel Legends, I hope you open it. I hope you open it. I hope you pose it. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you get that tactile sensation. You take some pictures. You move him around. You do some poses. You put him up on the shelf. You admire him. You check out the paint, the articulation, the sculpt, the designs, the ideas. And I'm hoping you honestly enjoy what you get. Because at $40, a single figure over and over and over again, it's going to get a lot harder to just buy them and put them to the side without this becoming a hobby that eats you alive. So I'm hoping, if nothing else, the price increase will allow us to slow down and enjoy this hobby like we used to. Because I know we get wrapped up in buying. And there's no time for the actual enjoyment. We buy the figure, we put it on the shelf, we move on to the next one. We buy the figure, we put the box to the corner, we go on to the next one. It's all about just snagging the next pre-order instead of enjoying what it is that you picked up. Something has been lost in the fact that it was so easy to obtain. Maybe the fact that the prices are going up, we'll be forced to slow down and rediscover why it was we gave a crap in the first place. That's my hope. Did I say I like the fact that prices are going up? No, I did not. I said I hope that we at least get something out of it. That's all I can give you on this. This sucks. But that's where my mind goes, is I know I'm going to be slowing down extensively. Things like we've been talking about with like this. If you're going to use the 10-year-old buck, I'm not going to give you money. If I'm going to spend $40, you better give me every figure, better be an event. Something worth having, worth opening, worth exploring. If it's not, I don't want it anymore. And I think a lot of people are going to be going that mentality. I'm lucky that I'm the kind of collector that cherry picks anyway. Everything I get is cherry picked. Everything. I don't just buy all the Playmates Star Trek. I get the ones that make sense to me. I don't get all the Marvel Legends. I get the one figure that speaks to me. I didn't want every Professor Xavier. I wanted that. I got that. I'm done. I don't need another Professor Xavier probably for another 10, 15 years. And that's fine for me. It's not fine for everybody else. And they're going to have a lot harder time with this increase than I will. Here's hoping that something good comes out of it for them. Let's see. At this rate, I'm going to have to start picking up the Epic Hero line, the 4-inch guys. I buy all the Street Fighter Jada, but I can't buy directly exclusive from Entertainment Earth. I have to wait until AliExpress gets it. I have heard that, actually. I know what you're talking about. I'm in like a group, like a toy group or whatever, that talks on Instagram, and I've heard that argument in there a lot. Last year I went to Ollie's, having bought multiple Marvel Legends for cheap. I wasn't about to buy Joe Fix-It on Big Bad Toy Store for $60, let alone the Super Adaptoid for $40. Right. When you got your full-body Juggernaut, were you disappointed to see that Gamerverse Juggernaut got announced and released? A little bit. A little bit. Yes, I'll admit that. I waited a very long time to get that 2-pack. And I missed it on the Build-A-Figures, then I missed it on the 2-pack, then I got it on the next time it released. And I was very excited. We did a video here, talked about it, was very excited. I'm still very happy to have both of them. And then, almost, it felt like it was immediate. It really did. It felt immediate. Like we had literally just got it. Just put Juggernaut on the shelf. And then they turned around and was like, hey, guess what? Big Juggernaut. And I was like, oh, I hate you. To the point where I almost passed on it. I did not. That Juggernaut looks fantastic. And he will replace the Juggernaut that I have on the shelf, which is almost a negative thing, if you want the truth of it. But at the same time, it's kind of perfect. So yeah. I'm of two minds about it. I was very irritated, but also very excited to get what looks like the best possible Juggernaut. So yeah, I don't know. If even Marvel Legends is going to massively increase their prices, I'll just save my money and buy more expensive stuff instead. And I understand that argument as well, but there's the argument that it's more expensive stuff. And they're going up in price too. It doesn't seem like it, but an extra $4 here and there means a lot, because let's be honest about it. With like the thing that you're saying right now, I'll just save my money and get more expensive stuff. I'm not saying you're wrong, but look. Frazetta Icons started as an $80 line. Now they're costing almost $100 a figure. So it's not just that went up. Everything went up in correspondence. The market went up. Let's be honest. It was already said in here already. We went from $25 Ryu Street Fighter 2 figures to the standard of the Street Fighter line being $40 a pop now. Shaggy is $40. That's a $40 figure. So I get the argument, But if you do go that direction, know that you may be paying even more, and it will still feel like it does for the average person that goes, well, I could get a $25 Marvel Legends, or I could get this $82, $85 Mezco. And then you go, oh, well, yeah, but that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And then you fight with yourself. Yeah, but I'll probably only ever get that one, and then that's all I'll get. And look, I'm just going to put this out here. It's not always perfect, by the way. I saw a lot of people that argued that if they were ever going to buy a Psylocke, they were going to buy the Mafex Psylocke. This is personal opinion. Okay? I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm saying it's a personal opinion. She's better. When I see her standing next to the Mafex version, she's better. And she's cheaper. She comes in a pack with another character and still only hit about $60, $65. And I honestly think she's a better figure than the Mezco figure. So, like, it's not always a win-win. This is all subjective. Art is subjective. But it's not always a win-win to jump directly into the higher bracket and say, well, if everything's going to be expensive anyway, I'll spend my money and get the one that's guaranteed to be good. That's not a guarantee. It's not. Unless it's something I really, really want or need, say for my X-Men display, I'm going to be selective in what I buy. And I get that, absolutely. Do you plan on getting the Jada Frosty the Snowman? No. I seen him and was like, that's a thing? And no, I'm not going to get him, but I thought it was fantastic that it was even a thing. I love that it's a thing, even though I have no interest in it. And he plans on buying Resident Evil 3, not Nemesis, Big Boss figure from Patriot Studio. Someone made a review of it on YouTube, and it looks good. I am still holding out for 2 toy lines to come in and blow my mind. And I want them to sit at a nearly $40 price tag, and I want them to be done by a company that's at least as credible as Jada. I didn't say it had to be Jada. At least as credible as Jada. Like, even if it was Storm Arena, I want Resident Evil figures. I want a line of Resident Evil figures at a price point that makes sense for me around the $40 price range. And I want a Metal Gear line. Those are the 2 things that I'm gunning for, and I will wait the next 10 years if that's what it takes. But that's like a cross my fingers, please do that line for me. Yeah, the price of the more expensive stuff is going to go up as well. It's just it's not just going to affect the Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe. It's already affecting McFarlane Toys to some extent too. Yes, McFarlane Toys is seeing a price hike as well, yes. What sells better as a McFarlane Toys company history reissue line? Austin Powers license or... That's your guys' debate. I don't have anything for that. I'm sorry. Let's do this. Let's do this. Snake Eyes, Polar Bear. Why'd we buy this? Yeah, that's why. From what I understand, this has some sort of bearing, I think, in a cartoon. I think this has something to do with the episodes. From what I've been told, or maybe it's the comic book, I don't know. Something about there was an event or something where like he had to wear these purple gloves and he had to go and he had to get these canisters or whatever, and that's the reason for like the canisters and stuff. And then he has the purple gloves, and then he also has where he doesn't have gloves, which by the way is weird to me. It's weird to me to see Snake Eyes like where he's just like naked hands. I don't know why that bothers me, but it does. It really does. But this is a repaint of Commando Snake Eyes, which I do already have a Commando Snake Eyes, but like, I gotta be honest, my Commando Snake Eyes is solid black. I kind of like this. I kind of like this bluish color, and I'm pretty sure that's the color he was in the animated series, even though I've never really watched it, which is fine. But, guys, so far, every animal that this line has done has been amazing. And so when they told me, because they were speaking directly to me, of course, they said, Bill, we're going to do a polar bear. And I said, what? And they said, oh yeah, Bill. Not only are we going to do a polar bear, we're going to do one with snake eyes. And I said, do you just not want me to have money? Is that what's going on? Are you just like adversely against the idea that I would ever have money for me to spend ever on anything? And they were like, look, man, you want the polar bear or not? And then I took out my wallet and just gave them my card. I was like, here, just take it. You may as well just hold on to it because, like, I'm sure you're going to do something else I want to. And, of course, they will. But for right now, they did a polar bear. Guys, I already have a video that talks about a polar bear. If you've never seen that video, go check it out. It's on here, and it talks about what's going on, like why there's a Coke bear in my collection. Every now and then you'll see it in the background, and I've actually been asked about it live because he's actually sat here before, and then he sat over here on the shelf before, and then for a while he was sitting over in the chair, and every now and then somebody will notice the Coke bear randomly in the room, and they'll ask me about it. They'll be like, what's up with the Coke bear? There's a very real reason that the Coke bear is in here, and there's a very real reason that if this room, like if something ever happened to the house and the house like caught on fire and I could save one item, that's the item I would save. Does this have any merit to that at all? No. I'm not like a big fan of polar bears or anything like that. I mean, I like them, but I will admit, when I saw that they were doing this, I had two ideas immediately. One, that I could put this bear with my other bear. I just thought that was neat. And two, now that I got this polar bear, I kind of want to see if I can find a 1/12 Coca-Cola bottle so that the bear can have a Coke. Because every polar bear deserves a Coca-Cola. I'm sure the snake eyes is cool. I'm sure he tries his best. But he's up against a polar bear, so inevitably in this review he'll be lying face down in the snow. Let's open the polar bear. That was a lot. Like, it was really a lot. Okay, so look, let's at least get him out of the way. Let's do him a little bit of a favor because let's be honest, none of this is about him. Snake Eyes, Commando Snake Eyes in blue, Commando Snake Eyes with pink gloves. Cool. Look, he's Snake Eyes. Do you want a Snake Eyes? Do you want him in blue? There he is. His guns are better than the last ones that we opened. The last one that we opened for the Snake Eyes, I honestly believe that gun is better. I like it quite a bit, actually. He comes with this gun. He comes with the handgun. He comes with this knife. Maybe he should have come with more than one knife. Look, I opened everything there was, but like this, this is not the right. I mean, it is. It'll work, but it's not. It's not right. Like that's tiny. This almost feels like it goes here, which is weird in its own right. I don't know where this goes. Does he? No. It almost feels like this is the wrong knife. Minor point down on him. I took everything out. I got this knife. I got this gun. I got that handgun. That handgun fits. This knife isn't really built for this sheath. You could do it, but it really doesn't go there. Like, I already have a couple of knives that actually fit that sheath, and I'm not seeing anywhere else on him that knife would go. So, weird decision in terms of that. And he has this gun, and that's our Snake Eyes. Aside from that, he does have pink gloved karate chopping hands to fight a polar bear because, look, if that polar bear is going to get in your face, right? That's 101 polar bear fighting, right? He comes up, he roars, maybe you, his face, no more polar bear, right? That's how that works? Okay, of course. He also has punching hand in pink gloves for if that bear doesn't take the hint, right? If that bear comes up and he's like, ah, and you're like, back up. And that bear's like, what? Are you out of your motherfucking mind? Then you put this in the bear's face. And then he better back off, right? Because, I mean, none of these hands make sense for the situation that he is in. For the situation that he is in, none of these hands work for him. You're dead. You're face down in the snow, man. It's a polar bear. He also, however, does come with two trigger finger hands without gloves. I guess one could say when the gloves are off, you shoot the bear. And now he's got a fighting chance. So, if these and these fail him, I mean, he could always shoot it. So, I mean, you know, he's got some kind of fighting chance. But from the rest of the options that I received with this figure, he's face down in the snow. That bear is winning this fight. Okay, I don't care how cool Snake Eyes is. This bear is winning the fight. All right. Otherwise, you got this right here, and this like doesn't open. I was wondering if maybe this would open because this seems like maybe it's, you know, something for that where it would go in and then it would come out. It doesn't feel like this opens. Yeah, not that I can tell, but I think these are both the same kind of ideal prop is what we're looking at here. Which I think is some sort of radioactive material or something like that. I don't know. Sure. Otherwise, what are we looking at here? We're looking at the bear, okay? And he has cuts and scratches across his face and everything, which is actually really cool. So he has like battle damage and whatnot. Does he have an articulated jaw? He does not. He has two heads. He has one like this, and then he has one like this. Very cool roaring head. Both of them with scratches and whatnot and scars across the bear, which then get more and more so as you get into the bear. So there's a part right here on the bear which comes off. So this is a removable patch of fur, which can either look like bite damage, maybe, like say Timber was there helping and Timber got on its arm, or if Snake Eyes put a couple arrows in him first or something of that nature, that's pretty cool. Or if you wanted to play out that scene from Wolverine's history where the bear gets hit with the poison arrows, you could do something very much like that with this bear. You could make a diorama for like a woods or something like that, or even an ice caps area, and you could play out an idea where Wolverine comes across a bear that has the arrows in it that's kind of like sickly and dying, and then he goes after the hunters because of that. That's cool. That's cool. That makes this a multi-purpose thing as well as a big giant polar bear should be. A big giant polar bear should be a multi-purpose item because it's a frickin' polar bear. It's too cool. Hind legs. Let's snap these on here. Whoo! Come on, get your leg on. Oh, it's real. Oh, did I get it? I got it. I got one of the legs on. Okay, now let's get the other leg on. Holy crap, there. Whew. Okay, so the legs are a little tough to get on, but I'm actually telling you that that's a good thing, because once these mugs go on, they go on, okay? He is articulated, all right? We're looking at here. We're looking at toes. Toes of absolute polar bear death right here, if you're stupid enough to deal with that. We're looking at the bear's neck does go down, and it does look all the way down, which allows him to stand up on his hind legs and be a frickin' polar bear that you don't want this coming at you, okay? You don't want nothing to do with this, all right? Nothing. And if you do want something to do with this, you're out of your mind, okay? Because let me tell you, polar bear comes up to you, even if he has a Coca-Cola, you run, all right? Just go. Snake Eyes may have come equipped with punches and chops. They're not going to do anything for you. You're done. You're done, son. You're done. Okay? It's not going to happen. Let's do the other head. Let's see how it works, right? Let's see how tough this is. That was very easy. Very easy. And it's right. It's on. Simple. He can stand up. He can roar. He looks great, man. And it's not just one color. It's not just white, by the way. There is actually a subtle, so like if you look at his back, you could see it here. Even under my light, because I have like two direct lights that are on me, you could see that it's like a dark that goes into the whitish color and kind of looks like dirt and everything. That's really good. This guy is going to do some absolute fantastic snow photography, okay? This guy is going to be outside in the snow coming across barbarians like Red Sonja and things of that nature, and it's going to be fantastic, okay? And you know, maybe just because he came with him, maybe I will have no choice but to showcase this fool karate chopping the bear too. Maybe I have no choice but to do that shot because it's so absolutely ridiculous. I know they wanted to give us hands to use, okay? But for the character and the position that he's in, the hands they gave me, he's a dead man. He's a dead man. If he karate chops or punches this bear, it's done. It's done. Absolutely unbelievable. This is cool. Comparison, just for the sake of. That's them standing, right? But should this bear stand up, which it can very blatantly do, bear. Okay? So, they didn't mess around with bear. It is a bear, all right? It stands, it moves its head down, it roars. And this is the correct response, all right? Shaggy has the correct response to a polar bear, all right? This is it. You do this and you GTFO. You get out of here, okay? This guy, he readies up one of these mugs right here. I'm sorry, it's so dumb. But the fact that they gave those hands to me, just it will not leave my mind now that one of the play factors to this set is this guy goes out into the polar ice caps to find this radioactive material, comes across a bear, okay, and decides, I got it. It does also come with a bear trap. It's not like anything that works. You don't like push this down and then these go up or anything like that. It's very much just like a, oh man, there it is. It's not perfect. Mine already feels like it's kind of nearly broke. It sits like that. You got to be very careful with it, but it will go up and it will close. There's not an effect on his foot or anything like that to like make this, you know, like it works or anything like that is what I'm saying. Like, you could do this, but you can't really necessarily sell it, except for you can get a couple shots with it, I'm sure. Maybe you can add some effects to it or something like that if you want. But yeah, I put in for this the second they announced it. The second they announced it, I was like, all right, you have my attention. I'm on board. Sell me a polar bear. And I bought it. I love it. I'm not sad about it whatsoever. I'm looking forward to getting my first shot with the bear as this idiot trying to karate chop it in the nose. It's fantastic. It does everything that it needs to do for me. I'm absolutely thrilled to put a polar bear on the shelf. I'm gonna hit the chat, and we're gonna get out of here. So let's see. Ooh boy. Okay, some people talking. So far, the price of McFarlane figures haven't made a significant jump on my end, but I wouldn't be surprised if Todd... Well, I saw a news article not too long ago says he's going to go up like $3 or something like that. It's G.I. Joe Coca-Cola figure. Let's see. So far, I've been keeping up with the releases on the Big Bad Toy Store. There's already 2 pre-orders that are priced at $36.99 before taxes and shipping. Todd is already charging $60 for his Elite figures, which is ridiculous. I even had to do a video on that and be like, what are we doing right now? That bear will work so work with Fire and Ice figures and Barbarians in general. Yeah, I think so too, absolutely. If I ever get it, I'd probably do a snowy scene with Wolverine and such, right? Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. The cheapest Elite figure I've got was the Doomslayer, and that's already almost $70. Now the prices are between $90 and $140. Crazy. Yeah, holy crap. Exactly, it's crazy. People are going to eventually start being selective as to what they pick and price. Yeah, absolutely, it will. Yeah, you did. But, hey, there's always the chapters. You can always watch this. You know that. I get it. I very much get it. And you know this is going to go immediately up. It's going to be uploaded. You're going to be able to watch it. And you can leave any comments you want. You know that I'll try to get back to you. I try to get back to a lot of the comments. I really do. I know I miss them every now and then. But, like, usually on my breaks and whatnot, I go through and I try to answer comments that I feel like I have legitimate... I feel like I know enough to answer it. Or sometimes I'll even do shorts answering certain questions in general. You know that. Let's see. Polar Bear, have a Coke. You're not yourself when you're thirsty. Those Snake Eyes hands only work for first appearance Batman. Yeah, because he had the surgical gloves too. Absolutely. Why does Snake Eyes' hands look like he stuck them in a boiling pot of water on the stove? Because they're supposed to be like they're gloved hands, like these pink. But I get what you mean. Like they just look like they took the regular hands. They didn't add anything to them. So like they're hands that are just painted pink. So there's not enough here to really give away the idea that these are supposed to be gloved. They just look like pink hands, and that's really what they are. They just painted the regular hands pink rather than sculpting new gloved hands. I know this is gonna shock some people but look, every now and then I gotta give it to a toy line that probably doesn't get a whole lot of praise. McFarlane, when his characters have hands that are gloved, they're gloved. I mean, you could tell that they're wearing gloves, not just like hands painted black. You got to give it to them. You got to give it to them. We'll have to accept paying high prices at this point. Might as well save up for an expensive toy that you really like. That's what I've been doing lately. And I get that. The bear is pretty cool, no joke. Let's see. No joke, I got to start saving up for the Punisher Nick Fury 2-pack because I got a family member who wants a Punisher and Nick Fury. Put a red cape on that bear, and it's half a hero bear and the kid comic license. Okay, okay. Let's see. I'm still waiting for that Cap vs. Venom Gamerverse pre-order to arrive. Excuse me. My 5-year-old godson likes Marvel characters like Thanos, Spidey, Cap, and Venom, and he's going to play with those. I actually have a couple kids that come over to the house and play with Motu figures. Like, there's a couple kids that come over to the house that when they come here, one of the first things they do is they ask, can I play with Castle Grayskull? And I get out the castle and, like, different things like that, and they play with them. I love it. I love it. I've actually sat at the kitchen table and done Dumbface Skeletor with her, where she's like, she had one of her guys, I remember, she had like He-Man or whatever walk around to the castle, and I was controlling Skeletor or whatever, and she goes, why does your face look weird? And I had him be like, what? My face doesn't look weird? Your face looks weird. Let's see. Oh, that's awesome. When is it scheduled to arrive? I hope he has fun when he gets it. I got it. Yeah, dude, absolutely, dude. Anytime. And that's another thing, too. I've seen a lot of, like, collectors that get, like, really uptight about allowing, like, a kid to play with the toys. Guys, I get it. We're adult collectors. But these are toys. Bottom line, most of them, I'm going to put that most, okay, most. You don't want to give them your Mezco that they could, like, break the arms off very easily. Most of these toys were meant to be played with. Let them play. The seller said it should arrive November. I'm excited to get it as much. Awesome. Awesome. Doesn't even come with bear spray. These Batman. Dude, absolutely, guys. Still hoping Shumagorath isn't overpriced. Dude, it looks fantastic. Like, I can't wait to have that thing on my shelf. I'm already paying $75 for mine on Amazon, guys. I know. I really do. I think it's a misunderstanding sometimes, because I've even had a couple of my friends ask me that they're like, how are you like paying for all these toys? And I'm like, I think it's misleading. I think you don't know that sometimes, like, I find deals and I get them, like, at half price, and I find them in, like, random places, like the Overstock and things like that. And then when I do get them, like, they've sat here for a while. So, like, we're not opening something that, like, I got, like, this week. Like, this has been around for a while. He just never got voted on and things like that. I think it's misleading. But, like, yeah, absolutely. Like, some of these are starting to really cost money to the point where even I am like, I don't know, but I'm like right there with you in terms of what I make realistically. I was doing a lot of overtime, but now that overtime is dried up, my spending power dried up right alongside it. I mean, absolutely. Now we have to explain to Gen Z Nick Fury wasn't always Sam Jackson. Hoff did it first. It's true. You will, because there's going to be some people that really don't know that. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to be back here next Wednesday. I got to take a picture of this bear. We're going to get out of here. And, yeah, I'll break this into chapters. I am starting to do that now. I'm starting to get a lot of these done. And I'll figure out what we do as we do it. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to get out of here. Later on, guys.